Welcome back. Today we're coming to you from Zambia at the Human Rights House, where we're sitting down with the Executive Director of Foundation for Human Rights Initiative, Dr. Livingstone Sewanyana, doing the choice of the classic music while we get to know him. Let's look back at your early life. You talked a little bit about growing up. What was it like for you? What household was it like for you growing up? Was this a big, huge family growing up, or was it a small family growing up?
Like many other African families, Charles, you know, I come from an extended family, a big family. My father was a chief, by the way.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Okay. He was one of those chosen by the king then, King Saidwad Mutesa.
Ah, wow.
And he was a mile older. Those who got land.
Maira Kenda.
Okay. He's a beneficiary of Maira Kenda.
Oh, wow.
But he used the land very well, because he even donated part of the land for a school to be built and a church to be erected there. Wow. What now we know as Tweyanze Primary School and Tweyanze Church of Uganda. I did very well. I actually received a bursary from the district, which enabled me to pursue my secondary education without having to, inconvenience my parents. Mm-hmm. I went to Namirian College, the famous Namirian College.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
How active were you at Namirian?
Oh, at Namirian College.
Student were you?
At Namirian College, one, I excelled in my academics. At the same time, I provided leadership. At club level, I was the chairperson of the History Club, Geography Club. I also happened to be elected by my fellow students to be house captain.
There was something unique about you. You always follow the leadership path.
I think it seemed to follow me somehow. Mm-hmm. So I provided leadership. I was elected house captain. My house was called House Maki. And when I joined the higher school, still at Namirian College, I was also elected to be the deputy head prefect and also in charge of discipline at the school.
Oh, wow. All right, Doctor, let's move into your next song. When we come back, we'll talk about your work experience, your first job after university, and moving forward, and how all this came to be a reality after your next song.
I really cherish the songs of Judith Babirye. There is one in particular I want to single out, because it is the grace of God that we have been able to do whatever we have done under difficult circumstances. So we owe it to God for whatever we have achieved.
Mukama kusaba ogende nange otali mukama enze nannemerera kolerera abaana bange mukama kolerera future yange mukama tambula nange kulembera nagoberera omukisa ku mulimu gwange omukisa mu bulamu bwange kuba omukisa mukama gwe gwogaba nkimanyi tekulina buyinike omukisa gwa mukama gwampadde nkimanyi kuba omukisa gwa mukama gwampadde nkimanyi tekulina buyinike ekibuga nganye sikifuluma nedda manyi ndiba bulungi kuba omukisa gwa nina amatonda tekulina buyinike ne bwologa bange olituuka n'okwowa manyi ndiba bulungi kuba omukisa gwa mukama tekulina buyinike ne bwogala oluggi kubaganya mu ddirisa era ndiba bulungi kuba omukisa gwa nina amatonda tekulina buyinike omukisa gwe ngamba tebakuloga nedda riziki tewaba kuba omukisa gwa mukama mukubo waliyo emitego ayagala kunkuba buso omukisa gwange yakutwale andeke nemulugunya tekulula emitego gy'omulabe kati engalo zino zinaabala ensimbi ne bweriba ddoola erituuka negonda mukisa gwo tegulina buyini kw'omukisa gwa mukama gwampadde nkimanyi nabandi babulungi oba mukisa gwa mukama gwampadde nkimanyi tegulina buyini ekibuga nganye sikifuluma nedda manyi ndi babulungi oba mukisa gwa nina katonda tegulina buyini ne bwologa bange olituuka n'okoowa manyi ndi babulungi oba mukisa gwa tegulina buyini ne bwogala oluggi kuwaganya mu ddirisa era ndi babulungi oba mukisa gwa nina katonda tegulina buyini omukisa gwe ngamba tebakuloga nedda riziki tewaba oba mukisa gwa mukama empewo efuwa enkuba nekuba kolerera abaana bange beereza omukisa gwo omuzira gukuba genda nange kolerera future yange genda nange tegulina buyini kw'omukisa gwa mukama gwampadde nkimanyi nabandi babulungi oba mukisa gwa mukama gwampadde nkimanyi tegulina buyini ekibuga nganye sikifuluma nedda manyi ndi babulungi oba mukisa gwa nina katonda tegulina buyini ne bwologa bange olituuka n'okoowa manyi ndi babulungi oba mukisa gwa tegulina buyini ne bwogala oluggi kubaganya mu ddirisa era ndi babulungi oba mukisa gwa nina katonda tegulina buyini omukisa gwe ngamba tebakuloga nedda riziki tewaba.
We are back sitting down with the Executive Director for Foundation for Human Rights Initiative, Dr. Livingstone Sewanyana. You'll talk to us about the doctor bit. When we were doing a lot of digging about you, some people were surprised that you were a doctor, like, ooh, when did he become a doctor? We'll get to find out later on in the show right here on Goldies.
Yeah.
But now let's talk a little bit about your work experience. You did work for the Ministry of Lands. What were you doing there?
After my university education and also on completion of Law Development Center, I was one of those lucky people then who was appointed by the Public Service Commission.
Right after university, you were lucky enough to find a job.
Exactly. I was appointed the Register of Titles. And apparently I didn't take it up for 1 month because I was away in the United States. At the Ministry of Lands, I was a Registrar of Titles.
Oh,
I was in charge of signing off people's land, conferring titles to people.
It wasn't so controversial like it is now.
It wasn't. It was a very disciplined area. And I recall that I would sit at the land office where it is on Parliamentary Avenue, do work Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And on Thursday, I was given an additional task of overseeing the land office also in Mukono. Right. That was not what I was destined to do. Yes. And 5 years was just enough, and I invested more in the work that I'm doing now. Human rights advocacy.
Okay, let's move into your next song. When we come back, we'll talk about how this whole thing became a reality for you after your next song and so much more right here on Goldies. What would you love for us to
Juliana has quite a lot of nice songs that I would opt for. So I give you the chance to choose among them.
All right, great. Your wish is our command. Stay tuned for more after this.
Amazima ddala nkimanyi nti Mukama omanyi bwe ntunula gye wanzija abalala gye wabaleka onwanira entalo baleeta kale ne bwe bayimuka nga mukama w'oli sitya sinsonga wadde nga sirina maanyi kuba mukama tuula mu nze oli w'amaanyi ssebo sinsonga wadde nga sirina sente kuba gwe katonda gwe nsinza ensi y'eno
Hey, welcome back. Today on Goldies, we are sitting down with a human rights icon, Dr. Livingstone Sewanyana, doing the choice of the classic music. Let's talk a little bit about your job and the duty. I know this job really is challenging for you. There are times that I've read about you, you go head to head with the government at loggerheads. What would you say, or which would you say has been the worst experience that you can share with us here today that you've encountered with the government?
One thing I need to stress is that human rights work for many people is seen as opposition work.
Yes, you always step in our way.
Yeah, the perception is that you are fighting government, which is also very unfortunate because in many ways we assist the government because if you think about the nature of interventions that we make in terms of policy analysis and review, legal aid that we provide, the literature that we publish, the human rights education we offer the public, the inspections we do in prisons, police and military detention centers, the financing that we attract from outside contributes to the economy of this country. One would be, I think, naive to say that you are actually fighting the government, because you are enriching the government, you are enriching the people. But put that aside, there have been a lot of challenges I've gone through. One, of course, registering this organization is very difficult. You have to be vetted by a special branch. It really took a toll on me because it was new to many people. You had to explain what this was all about. One major assignment I undertook was to agitate for multi-party politics. And at that time, there was a lot of confusion. People used to think I was DP because I share a name with my brother Henry Sewanyana. So people thought, oh, this is the DP man who is trying to agitate for DP. There are still people who think that when you condemn arbitrary arrests, or you condemn poor conditions in detention centers, or when you speak out in favor of journalists, or when you talk about electoral reform, you are really trying to undermine the government. So there are still people of that nature, but largely there are people who now appreciate, whether they're in government or outside government, who appreciate that dignity for individuals is really a goal for all of us. So I would imagine that much as I may not be a favored candidate, I think there are also people who believe that we have made a contribution and maybe they tolerate us along those lines. But I've also received a lot of commendations from government officials.
So you're in good terms?
Who normally say, yeah, the work you are doing, I think deserves to be appreciated.
Okay. Right, let's move on to your next song. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about family and your personal interest. After this, stay tuned.
Yeah. Yeah, the other intriguing artist for me is Irene Namoviru.
Together